Hello everyone, I am Amitesh at GetSetSQL, and in this tutorial you will learn how the delete statement is different from truncate statement. Although both the statements used to delete rows from the table, but they have differences based on their working. We'll discuss all the differences in much detail. So stay tuned and let's start. So we will discuss that what the differences truncate and delete has. Although both deletes the rows from the table, but the truncate always remove all rows, where delete can remove few or all rows from the table. How we do this? Let's see in the example. I have a one table test already created and I will feed some value into this table. 5 rows inserted. This table has one ID column, which is an identity column starting with 1, and in every insert it will increase with one value. The second column is simple varchar column name. Now let's see what this table has. Okay, this table has 5 rows. Now I can simply use delete statement to delete any certain row. Let's say I want to delete this last value where id is equals to 5. Then simply using this I can delete the certain row. You can see one row is deleted. Again select this table. Now you will see only 4 rows are available. Now if the same thing I want to achieve using truncate statement, using where clause, then this is not possible. If I write truncate table test where id is equals to 4 and execute this, you will see it gives me an error that incorrect syntax near the keyword where. It means where is not allowed with truncate table. If I remove this and run the truncate table statement again, truncate table name, and execute this, then command completed successfully. But in this case truncate remove all the rows from the table. Select the table and let's see what happened. So this table has no rows this time. Now let's see the another difference. Truncate always reseed the identity value, but delete never reseed identity value. It means if there is an identity column in the table and it already has some value, let's say identity 1, 2, 3, 4 or some values, and if we remove the rows using delete statement and refeed the new values, then identity value will always be starting from the last value what it was available in the table already. But if we remove the rows using the truncate statement, then identity column always restart with the initial value. Let me show you in the example. We will take the same table test again, and currently this table has no rows. So I will feed new 5 rows in this table and select the table. It has 5 rows. Now let's say I want to remove all the rows from this table using delete statement. Currently the ID column is an identity column, as you can see in the definition, and it is feeded with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. So maximum identity value is currently 5. That we can also check using the dbcc command. The dbcc check ident table name, execute, and you can see the identity value is currently 5. But now this time we will simply remove all the rows from this test table. Delete. Using delete we remove all the rows. And now let's see what is the dbcc command says about the identity property. The current identity value is yet set to 5. It means if we insert any new row, it will start with 6. Currently test has no row, and let's say I insert a new row in this table. Insert into test. Let's say new name Leon I am feeding into this table. One row affected. Run this, view this table, and this time you can see ID value is starting with 6. No matter we have removed all the rows from this table, but the identity value is not set for the ID column, and if we insert a new row into this table, now the identity column start with the value where it was last fed into this table. Now if I use truncate statement to remove all the rows from the table, then what happens? Execute, command runs successfully, and now this time before inserting a new value, let's see what is the check ident dbcc command says for the identity value. you can see the identity value set to null. It means now if I insert a new value into this table, it will reseed with the initial value for the identity column. I will insert some rows into this table, test, and execute. 5 rows affected, run. And now you will see the identity again is started with 1. So this way we understand that delete statement does not reset the identity column, but truncate table statement reset identity value. Now let's see another difference. The truncate statement does not fire trigger, where the delete statement fires trigger. I believe you all are aware about the triggers in SQL Server, how they are being used. Triggers actually are event-based programs which execute on the certain events. On table level, we basically have 3 types of trigger: insert trigger, update trigger, and delete trigger. So whenever insert, update, or delete action happens on that certain table on which the trigger is implemented, then that certain triggers execute and perform the logic whatever written into this trigger statements. But when we fire a truncate statement to remove the rows from the table, and suppose that table has delete trigger implemented on that, then trigger does not fires. If we remove the rows using the delete statement, then delete trigger executes and it performs its activity. We will see in the example. This is our test table. I will create a new trigger, test back trigger, and what this trigger will be doing is whenever I will be deleting any rows from test table, then that deleted rows will be stored into a new table called test back. So this trigger is basically doing nothing but to backing up that certain row into test back table. You can see in this statement here, it is simple trigger, create trigger name on test table for delete. So delete is an event that could be performed on this table, and whenever the delete action performed on this table, then that particular row insert into the test back table. So this is a simple trigger. I will execute and the trigger has created. I already have this test back table, and you can see this is currently have no row. Now if I remove any row from the test table using delete statement, that all rows should be deleted from test table and backed up in the test back table. So I'm going to delete all rows from the test table. 5 rows affected, and you will see another 5 row affected message appearing here. This first message is for this delete statement, and the second 5 rows affected message is for inserting new rows using the trigger. Now we can see that test back table. Yes, so I was storing only ID column, so that is why no name column here, only ID value is storing here. And if you'll see the test table, all the rows has been removed from this. So this way we can see if the trigger is implemented on the table, then delete statement and we fire a delete statement, then trigger executes. Now let's see in the example of truncate. Let me insert some values in test table again. 5 rows affected. Now this table has again 5 rows. Identity is not being set because recently I just removed the rows using delete statement, so that is fine for now. Now this time I will run truncate table. Test back table has already some value. Let me remove to just make the example more clear. Remove all the rows from this table. Okay, so my test back table is blank right now, and my test table has 5 rows. Now this time I will run truncate statement to remove all the rows from the test table, and let's see if in this event trigger works or not. So I'll truncate. Command completed successfully. Let's see this test table again. All the rows has been deleted, and let's see if anything being stored here in test back table. No, so no rows inserted into test back table. So it means trigger was not executed while I was running truncate statement. So this is another difference between truncate and delete. Now another difference is truncate statement is always faster than delete statement, and delete is always slower than truncate statement. Why it is so? because truncate statement remove the data by deallocating the data pages from the table instead of removing each row one by one. So what happens whenever we create a table, that table always associate with a data pages where the data pages contains all the rows of that tables. So instead of removing each rows one by one, truncate simply deallocate that data page from the table, and so table become blank. In contrast, delete is slower because it removes rows at once. So if let's say we want to remove 1000 rows, then delete statement will run 1000 times to remove all that rows. And that also results in the case of truncate that transaction log space become very lesser because truncate does not record each row's deletion in log file. But delete takes more transaction space because it records each and every row's deletion in the log file. And this also becomes sometimes fatal in the case of delete when we try to remove some millions of rows. And in this case, log file exceeded more than the space it has allocated, and so delete statement failed. Another difference is that using truncate, we cannot delete the indexed views, while the index view can easily be deleted by delete statement. And the final difference is truncate is a DDL statement, that is data definition language, while the delete is a data manipulation language, a DML statement. Because when we truncate a table, it removes identity and also deallocate the data pages, which means it makes a changes in the table structure. But when we delete records from the table, then this command simply manipulate with the rows but do nothing with the table structures. So these are the basic difference between truncate and delete. I hope these examples are clear to you, and if you have benefited with this tutorial, please like this video and subscribe my channel. I'll come soon with more interesting and learning tutorials. Till then, please take care and stay blessed. Thank you.